So, we're dealing with some audio issues this morning and we're hanging out. And he's like, "Oh, did you see my hand?" So, and honestly, it looks like, oh, maybe I just like caught my hand, like, chopping an apple or something. Nope. What was it, Nick?
A chainsaw accident.
A
Yeah.
chainsaw accident. It was a chainsaw accident.
This is the first time we don't have a lot of bandages on it, so it's just like a silver band-aid and some other small band-aids. Yeah. It's
a chainsaw accident. So not only are you out there building tools that we all get to, use for all the games we're doing, but you're also like just helping friends, just like manning out with some chainsaw action.
Yeah, it was my own garden. Okay. So it was my dad-in-law. He was taking care of some overhanging trees that were like into the neighbor's property. So it was like, okay, can you help me out for an hour and we'll take care of this. And I was just like chopping up trees, making them smaller. And I honestly, I don't even remember what I did wrong, but it was totally my fault. I was just like a handheld chainsaw and I was making stuff smaller and I just cut right into my hand, man. But I instantly also like released very quickly. So that I think that really saved everything because
yeah, you were saying you feel really lucky and that makes total sense. Like I feel like could have been a lot worse.
There are such nasty wounds because it's like it's all serrated because it's meant to, you know how a chainsaw works, like with all the teeth. So I got really, really lucky. I think there's no permanent damage at all. So I just took a few days off because typing with the hand was I couldn't do anything, right?
not ideal for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And so it was like, sure.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, for those of you guys who don't know, Nick is out there, building a bunch of tools. He built a claim thing for Clash Dome. He built a couple of different tools for Our Planet. One I use all the time, like the one account in Our Planet that has all my land in it. Like I don't even bother going to Our Planet for that. I go right to your site. Lets me claim, my Aether, but then claim everything for the lands all in one shot. Like it's just genuinely a lot easier. So that's cool. And I know you've been building some other stuff as well. You want to just like list them off, and then we can just move from there.
Yeah, sure. I started off with stuff for Alien World. It's like a small bag tool to manage your tools because you can't equip more than one of the same type of tools. So I made something that easily lets you do that instead of going to blocks and type in JSON arrays, etc.
Oh, that's interesting. So that's funny too because Sammy was telling me like, you can use like 3 shovels at a time. I'm like, I don't think you could do that. So you basically built a tool to show people how to do that.
Yeah, I thought I told you about it before.
Maybe, but I like my brain's too full right now.
Because like Alien Worlds was my first contact with Wax, as is the same for a lot of people. So I found it through Binance, and I started to play the game because I figured out, well, you can play the game and get a lot more TLM than by staking a lot of money on Binance. So you start out with 1 shovel, and then it's like, okay, what is the next move? Get 3 drills. They were like 6 wax each back then, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
So you buy 3 drills, and then you can't equip them because the UI just won't let you do that. This is cool. This is one of the images installs, or I don't know.
No. This is. Oh, you haven't seen the teleport hub yet.
No, I haven't, because it's like I can see it's a 2D image, and then okay.
Yeah, so this is we're having people spawn like when you first get into the uplift. Now you'll start right here. No. So you can see our little billboard there that we're messing around with, which is kind of fun.
Those are the picture installs that you can have done for like 100K uplift team, right?
Yep. And so each one of these is actually a portal to the world. So you can get the Genesis through here. One's locked. Which one's this one? Londum.
Yeah. The funny thing is I don't actually have like a full desktop at home. I have a laptop that I use in case of emergency. I do all my computer stuff at the office.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, because I still haven't visited my land plots, I still need to do that.
Right.
Shame, I know.
No, man.
Like, I could have my kids play and build stuff because I got them Minecraft on the Switch a few weeks ago and they love it.
That's cool.
So they're 5 and 7. So they know how to play Minecraft. So they build like their own house, etc., and get all the animals and breed them. So I think they would love to just do this. So I can just send them to my plot and have them work on it.
Yeah, no, I hear this story like once every 2 days. Like, man, either I'm gonna let my kids build like our we brought in a new VP of revenue for all of Legend. He works a lot with me over at Uplift. And that's exactly what he's doing. Like he's getting his kids to come in and build on his lands and stuff, and he's having a blast.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. They have a lot more time than I have, so
right, legit.
And I think it will be cool to like when they have it all set up to like just be there with them, and they can show me around the stuff that they build. I think they will really like that. So,
indeed.
So yeah. To get back to the alien worlds thing, I found out that because my wife also started playing and she only plays on her phone, and I found out that the way to equip more than one of the same tool is basically go to blocks, find out the asset IDs of your tools, put them in a JSON array, and execute a contract manually. So that's nearly impossible to do on your phone, right? So when my wife also wanted 3 drills, I was like, okay, I'll build something for that, and I figured out how that works. I just bait the tool for her, and then I started using it myself because it was way easier to do that to switch. And that's just how it started. I was like, this is not a good experience. Not a good user experience. Let's just fix it. And I usually start by fixing stuff for myself, which then turns out into me making tools for a lot of people to use. So,
nailed it.
Yeah. So I got the Alien Worlds bag tool, and then from Alien Worlds, some video on YouTube was like, "Are you staking all your extra stuff to our planet?" And I was like, "What is our planet?" "Oh yeah, and Colabone." Like, okay, so I went to Google and found it out, and then you had the our planet one, and I built the tool that you said.
Yeah.
Actually, did you see the our planet land upgrades stuff?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I've been messing around with that. Actually, I had with the Aether price is low. I mean, it's not going to stay down here. I figured this is an amazing opportunity to uplift all of my land pieces. And I've only got I think about like 9 or 10 for our planet, but I'm going to uplift them all so I can have all the ones in Borvalis and Swineland. But I've been upgrading like crazy. The first one that I did, I only had 1 rare. And so I literally used all of my spare elements from grinding over the last few months, and got that one like up to I think it was like 198 or something like that. And I'm like, wow, that's cool.
That is high.
It is. It's a lot. But like now, especially with the price where it is now, I'm like, man, I wish I had just kept crafting while things were out there, and you could actually get something that would actually earn some Aether. But whatever. Like and it's funny. TC and I've had this conversation. I've had it with a few people. Like there's all the FUD going around because the price is down on the bottom of the barrel, as it were. But I just like I'll never sell any of this stuff. Like if it's mining anything, because I believe in the team, right? Like that. Like they're not perfect. Nobody is, right? But it's not like they're gonna quit, right? Like it's not like they're gonna just like walk away. They got plans, and and they keep delivering, right? And it's never fast enough for anyone, me included. But I think 6 months from now, everybody who left is going to be like whining and crying and pining because they'd wish they'd stuck around. And like, yeah, well, if you think short term, you're going to get fucking wrecked. That's just the way it is.
And like the Aether price is really, really low right now, because I remember it dipping down to like 68, 69 cents per 1,000. I was like, okay, I'm just putting all my remaining wax. I'm buying it before it goes up again, because I value this higher because I've been crafting all the way previously. And now it's like 1/15 of that. So I'm still not selling anything. I'm sitting on like a pile of 86 million Aether right now.
Yeah.
So just waiting to get something to craft.
I just started upgrading land like crazy. Like one of the things that I'm doing is the swap pools on Alcor. I'm basically taking like obviously equal parts Aether and the little bit of each element that I'm doing and throwing them in the swap pools. But that's because I have a personal fascination with LP tokens right now. Because at some point, somebody's going to launch something on Wax that incentivizes the staking of LP tokens.
It already exists.
Who's doing that?
Kate.
Okay, so can I stake LP tokens to them?
Now, what you can do is, once you're in some of the selected pools, like Wax Kate, Dust Kate, TLM Kate, you go to their site, you enter your account, you say register, and from that moment on, you get airdropped new Kate related to how much you have staked in the LPs,
right?
In extra Kate. So they already.
I didn't know that because I got a bunch Kate and I didn't know what the fuck to do with it. So thank you for that.
I gotta have Micah
on again. Yeah. I definitely have to have Micah on again because I knew he was going to be going in that direction. So that's awesome. So it's like basically right around Kate and the few pairs that are in there. Which is that's really, really good to hear. That's cool. Because
so that's like the extra incentive to provide liquidity in the LPs. So they airdrop new Kate to compensate for any impermanent loss, stuff like that. So it's a great way to just grow.
Yeah, that's the thing that PancakeSwap and Uniswap and everybody else are doing that that Alcor just isn't. Right. I don't know if they have any plans to do it or not, but yeah. So that, we're talking about potentially launching something, in the PancakeSwap type thing as well, which that'll
be interesting.
Fun. It should be fun. I mean, it's I looking at the analysis on Ethereum on especially Binance, like Binance, coin, BNB. Was like 15, 16, 17 bucks when it was just an exchange token, right? Like if you use this, you get, better rates on exchange when you're trading on Binance. The second PancakeSwap shows up, it jumps to 600. Right? And so when people start figuring out how to lock up massive supply of tokens in liquidity pools, you're giving people a reason to actually buy a token because you want to whale into an LP pool that has a good return on it, right? We're gonna see some interesting movement, right? And I think a large if tools are built so that absolutely anyone can make any pair they want and then incentivize it, which is something I actually haven't seen before, then we should see a decent increase in Wax finally, and I think we could 20x the price of Aether without them releasing anything new. So it's interesting.
Because making all the pairs is something you can do right now on Alcor. That's not an issue. But the incentivization layer.
Right. That's exactly it. Yep.
But it's also like, I don't think there are, because Alcor is doing a great job, in my opinion. They run a great service. It has some issues from time to time, but it's very limited and they're always on it. Yeah. So that's why you don't see any other exchanges popping up in Wax, because nobody's frustrated enough to make one. And nobody's incentivized to leave yet, because Alcor works perfectly.
It does
for the needs we have right now.
Right. It has been an amazing tool. That's absolutely true. TC talking about Kate and Taco. I have both. I'm actually talking to the Taco team about an Uplift collab. I think they're almost done figuring out how to get the claim function to work in their in their app. But they're working on something else that I don't even want to talk to you guys about. It's it's the most requested feature that we get that Uplift currently isn't working on because we don't have time and dev resources right now. Let me just say that. And I think they might actually be able to build it. It'll just live in their app because they're fucking amazing. It's like Taco. I'm a fan. They're cool. Legit. All right. So Nick, what are you grateful for? And then Morton, I'm going to hit yours.
For still having all my fingers.
Right. Oh shit. That's a new one.
Yeah. But I really, really, really am.
Right? Yeah. No shit.
It's a new level of stress when something like that happens. Because I know the thing you have to do is stay calm. So I stayed really, really, really calm, which is also like all the adrenaline that for some reason lets you stay calm. So it's like I walked over to the sink, make sure there's not blood everywhere because it kept going everywhere. Clean it off. I was like, okay, now it needs to stop bleeding. And now you need to stop bleeding. And I was like, okay, let's go to the car and drive to the hospital because it doesn't stop bleeding. I was like, oh, wow. Damn. But no, after a few minutes, it actually finally clotted up and we was able to do most of the stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
We drove into the doctor like a few hours later, just in case, because my wife went to get some supplies, and everybody was like, "Why are you not at the doctor's? You got your hand with the chainsaw." So yeah, but we treated it really well, and yeah, no lost fingers. So really happy for that.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's really good. I'm really, really happy that you did not lose any fingers, because we need your skills, man. Just selfishly,
Yeah.
never mind if we care about you, which we do. We need your mad tool building skills.
Yeah, that has also been lacking a bit. So because after the land upgrade for our planet, I was like, okay, the rates that you see now aren't correct anymore because it doesn't take into account the new level upgrades.
Yeah.
So I quickly made a proof of concept this morning to check if I could recalculate all the values, etc. So, and that worked out. So I'll try to see if I can push out an update tonight that will show you all your levels, and I'll also make like a little table that will show you what your land will do for all the levels for each type, so, and how much Aether you have to spend to get there. And so yeah,
that's awesome.
Because I already have I have all of it made already and pre-calculated now, so I can easily make something like that. And I was like, yeah, this is some of the info that you want to have, because that was something that really frustrated me for like the first moment when it was live. It was like a blind, 3 slots, and you had your FTs, and you have no clue. You have some clue about how much they're worth, but not in total, because everything that goes over, you lose those values.
Yeah.
So if your upgrade is like 100K and you put in 150, you lose 50. And you don't want to do that because you can use that to upgrade more. So one of the guys that built a tool for actually one of the new generators for our planet.
Yeah. There's a new generator for it?
Yeah, Waymoon made one. He was like, okay, I just checked that you can just put in 200 FTs and do the upgrade at once and not lose all the stuff. So that's useful. So that's also like a UI limitation that you can only put in 3. So he made something that lets you put in all the FTs at once.
Oh, shit. That's cool. I would have done that over the last couple of days. And man, like even just using the generator to mint stuff is just such a colossal pain in the ass. I keep running into CPU problems, and it's never dull.
Did you catch all the drama surrounding that? Because it was really interesting to me. Because they announced, like a few weeks ago, they announced, hey, we're making some upgrades. We're removing one of the biggest bottlenecks, and that is our own server. Because are you familiar how it works on a little bit lower level, the whole crafting for our planet?
No, why don't you explain it?
Okay, so you have your FTs. You put them into a cauldron, and then you post to one of their own servers that says, hey, I've put something in my cauldron. Can you go check on the blockchain and see if I made something?
Yeah.
So you do one part on-chain, that is spending your FTs. And then there's an off-chain action that has all the recipes, etc., because they need to keep that a secret. And that one will give you the FT or the pig like you messed up,
Yeah.
So what they did was like, okay, we know that, and this was from the community, we talked about that before, we know all the recipes for all the existing stuff. So there's really no need to actually discover those elements.
Right.
So what they did was, for all the known recipes, you no longer had to trigger the discover action on their own backend. You can do everything on chain, speeding things up a lot. So that was cool, and I was like, okay, I think I know of a way to break this. So like, do you remember like crafting the backpack that was 17 million something Ether, hundreds of steps? It took forever to build from scratch.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I've built the ones that are like 50 million. Like it basically took me all day, even with the generator tool. It was really fun.
I know. But when they announced that, I was like, I'm pretty sure I can build a 17 million element in under a minute.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Did you pull it off?
Oh yeah. So I talked about it in my Telegram. I made like my own Telegram room a while back just to like nerd out on some stuff. So like to share pieces of code and things like that. It turned into a game room by now, but that's beside the point. So I was like, and I have some of the tech people surrounding our planet there, like from the community, like Ivan and Sean that built his own tools. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this will be an issue because we can craft at such insane speeds now that this will be crazy. So I think I can make a backpack in under a minute. And Ivan was like, okay, I'll throw down the gauntlet. Here, my tool makes metal, which is a lot smaller, in 48 seconds or 38 seconds. Do your worst. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have he has his own generator that people can use, by the way.
Do you have the links for any of those?
I'll send them to you later.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. The only ones that I've seen, and I'll put them in the show notes. If anyone wants to comment those, just fire them to me on Telegram, and I'll put them in the comments.
Yeah, and let me see. Oh yeah, so I was like, okay, I don't have a generator ready, but I can whip up a proof of concept to see if my idea at least works. Because I thought what you normally do is one transaction, and then you go to the discover, and then you go back to another transaction. But a transaction can hold more than one action. So if an action can execute on its own and doesn't need to look at additional data inside the transaction, it can be its own isolated thing. So let's say you make pressure, which is 4 earth, right? Let's say you want to make 10 pressure, and you have 40 earth. What you can do is take 10 crafting actions to make pressure, spend 40 FTs and 10 actions, and have one transaction that executes it all. Because most of the overhead is in the transaction setting. Like you have to wait for it to come back and to register and update.
Right.
So what I did was like combine all those crafts into small transactions. So you would work down like a list of 400 or 500 crafts into 18 or 20 sets of transactions. So it's like, okay, and I made a small proof of concept, and I crafted the metal in 15 seconds. So I was like, here, okay, my idea works.
Yep.
Point proven. So he was like, cool, and ran with it. And then he went back and was, hey, Nick, I did this and this and this, and I got it down to 8 seconds. Yeah. And then that escalated to like
amazing nerds like that. Just for nerds. So good.
It's like if somebody challenges you, you know, and you motivate somebody else, you can do great stuff.
Hell yeah.
So then he went and like improved his generator to just combine all of that and do speed crafting. Like you could do the biggest elements really fast. So if a new discovery would come out, you could craft them all in just a few minutes, like all 600 of them, if you had enough CPU, etc.
Right. Yeah, CPU is a pain in the ass. That's for sure.
People panicked. It was like, this isn't fair. And there was like, oh, people are having bots that automatically start crafting when something new is discovered. It was like, okay, if you can prove it to me and that's the case, I'll build a tool for everybody that will just craft automatically when it gets discovered. Because like, if people are playing unfair, I want to level the playing field. But I really don't want to have to do that because it will kill the game, basically.
Yeah.
Because it will take all the fun out of it for me.
Yeah.
Because
if you don't have bots, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah. Because people like Ivan and Sean and me, we could have made tools that craft automatically a long time ago, right? I can make it right now. I have like a feed of the blockchain. I can respond to something new being discovered, and I can start crafting if I wanted to. But yeah, that just kills it. So I was like, okay, I really hope I'm not forced to do anything like this because it's not fun. And like a day after, there was a lot of outrage, and people were like, okay, we roll back our improvement. We have to use the discover again till we figure out a way to handle this. So it was really, like, from a tech point of view, it was really fun to just break stuff and be able to craft at that insane speed.
Right.
Because it would be great to just also for like pre-crafts. Okay, you want like 400 different types of elements. Click, click, boom, ready.
Yeah.
It would be so much better than just sitting there all day and then waiting for stuff to happen. But yeah, it also messes up some of the things. So yeah, I understand it, and we'll have to find a balance there. But that was really fun for me.
Yeah, it's never dull, that's for sure. I've been thinking a lot, like the closer we get to active rewards, I know there's client-side bots where you can basically just have your guy, in Minecraft, like build something or fly around or do whatever it is you want, right? And we're going to be ruthless to anyone that uses those, because that is of absolutely no value. Like what those people will be doing is turning our server resources that could have been used to have somebody else in game into Upliftium. and so we'll just merge them and permanently.
You can't. It will happen everywhere. There is some money to be made. People will exploit it. That's
we know, and again, that's going to be a running battle too, right? Because we know how to spot them relatively quickly, but they'll get clever. We'll get clever. They'll get clever. Like, I'm not looking forward to that fight at all. But it's something that we're absolutely gonna do, just in case anyone's wondering about it, like that. And if we find out, like, it'll be bad and permanent, just because we have to, right? I mean, like the whole play to earn thing. We're going from this ability for people to go into the uplift and have meaningful experiences, and on the back end of that, earn uplift. Like, we want to do that all day, right? Like, that's the whole fucking point. But just having somebody like set something up and then walk away, that's just hard pass. And we'll be able to figure it out. I mean, we already know how, but
yeah. But the only upside is that like making bots for full-fledged games is harder than making something that just executes contracts.
Yeah.
So there's an added level of difficulty and skill that's involved, but in the end, I'm pretty sure there will be. But looking forward to see how you guys combat that.
Yeah, I'm not. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. I mean, again, like, I think like level 1 of it is gonna be relatively easy. And I'm hopeful that, because basically like anything that shows a pattern will be doing that, right? We're gonna have daily caps. We're gonna be doing a bunch of different things. Basically, like, if it looks even remotely, we'll flag your account and then analyze it a little bit closer. And if we spot it, then we'll just nerf the account. Anyway, so yeah, Nick, is that a healing potion you're drinking? Probably.
Yeah, I need it.
Right.
But
we know it's coming.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to chat, and I was like, okay, there's a lot of things. So I hope I didn't miss anything important.
Right. Yeah, Teggy, if you see a guy randomly walking around one plot for 172 hours, probably not real. And still can't, unless you're 5 years old. I mean, again, right? And like, it's that's entirely possible. So that's a whole thing. Yeah. Those freaking 5-year-olds and their 172-hour gaming things. Yeah,
but you also have like the third world countries that will like pull together and invest in something, and then just have 5 people alternate, and it will be real. But I think there will be some issues there as well.
Yeah, it's going to come down to mods basically challenging people. And I think that's we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
We should have like a Minecraft Facebook reputation system. Like, I know that guy. He's that guy, and he's over there on Twitter and Telegram. And it's like, okay, this guy is connected to 50 other people. Something like that would be a reputation system. That is
a really, really good idea. I absolutely love that. It's almost like it's not KYC, but it's just like it's social KYC, right? Like if you want to, if you link your Twitter account, and your Twitter account, or have people vouching for you stuff, that social idea is amazing, because then especially as we scale, it will be the ones that don't have any of that connection, or would be afraid to fuck with that connection because they're actually building value up on that account, right? So there's like a different level of value. I'm writing it down. Nick,
sure,
you're hired. Fucking love you. No, it's a good idea, because I think one of us mentioned it in one of the huddles, something like that. But I want to make sure we capture that, because that's really good.
It's recorded on YouTube as well, so you can always go back.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Thank you for that.
No problem. I like brainstorming about stuff like that. It's also like in my regular job where I help companies, I just fucking love going into small companies and seeing their business and talking to them and seeing their problems. And like within 10, 20 minutes, I'm treating their business like my business, and like, oh man, I want to do this, I want to do that. Did you think of this? It's something really nice to just step into somebody else's world and think about it and try to maximize stuff. It's something that's really fun to do, at least for me.
Yeah, no, it definitely is in my much limited capacity. Having a lot of conversations with NFT projects and a bunch of different people in the space. Had a great conversation with Nefty about their token release. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, the guys from Nefty are cool.
Yeah, they're adorable, man.
I just wish I had more time. Like they hit me up few months ago, and I have like this group with them where I can, if I see something that happens, I could just like send them a link, and I have like direct lines, because like they were like, okay, we love what you do, can we work something out together? And I just wish I have so many of those connections that I was like, I wish I had time to do stuff with all of them, because there's so much potential everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
It's because and I have to watch out what I say, because a lot of stuff is under NDA with all sorts of teams, but there's so much cool stuff that I have planned and I want to do. It's just, I start messing with chainsaws and it messes things up.
No more chainsaws for you, dude. Yeah, NFT Jazz, Nick is one of the pillars of Wax Gaming. I completely agreed, and I can make some small educated guesses about the kinds of things that you might be working on, and it gets me more excited because I know all the stuff that I hint about all the time, and there's a bunch more stuff that I don't even talk about, right? Like we're sort of in those different stages of stuff, and the fact that so many other titans in this ecosystem are exactly the same way. Like a year from now, Bitcoin might be up, Bitcoin might be down. We're still going to be grinding at Mach 9. Like right? Like I don't think it's going to slow down for us at all, right?
And I actually, the whole up and down, same for Wax. I don't even look at the price of Wax, because the Wax token itself has a value for me.
Yep.
It's like when Europe changed from like the native currency to the euro. It's like you can't just keep looking back at it. Like it will have its own value, and it works better if you just treat it on its own merit. So yeah, there's an arbitrary fiat value associated with Wax right now, but I don't feel like stuff is very different from when it was 2x what it is right now, or when it was half what it is right now.
Yep. No, I agree. Granted, I still want to see DeFi on Wax. We can get to like $5, but that's just because I have a small stash, and I think it'd be really funny if it did.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I am.
That's exactly it.
At how you have everything invested in Wax, like in projects.
Yeah.
I did some calculations recently, and I was like, damn. It's like if I just look at like RAM and CPU, I have over 10K Wax just in those stupid things,
Yep.
And then you have all the projects that you're part of and do stuff with. Man, it really adds up in the end.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Yeah, I am said we spend Wax too fast to notice price. I think that's a huge part of it, right? I think that's why I get excited about launching this DeFi play that we're sort of thinking about doing, just because and I'm really glad to see Kate doing that already, incentivizing the LP tokens. And again, I was actually talking to Micah too. I got to chat with him, and just like we'll do like a walkthrough or something, because I bought a bunch of Kate and haven't done anything with it, which is dumb. Need to fix, which we totally will. But that's the way, right? Like now, you still have both assets. It's deepening liquidity pools, which is a value to the entire ecosystem, right? You can actually buy in or sell with less slippage, and then just incentivize it, and people will into those things, right? So you're creating something of inherent value to the ecosystem, and you have both those assets still anyway. And yes, up and down, blah blah blah, and permanent loss, whatever. Not only can you make up for that with an APY or with some kind of incentive, but you can dramatically make up for it, right? You can actually turn it into something where people are earning at scale, which is why there's $1 trillion locked in DeFi, right? It's ridiculous.
Oh, have you seen like the whenever Binance does a popular launchpad thing, just the amount of value locked in there? It's
insane,
mind blowing, yeah,
and super fun.
Yeah, but LP pools I really like them, but they're also dangerous because they're still too liquid for me, actually, because I use them as my piggy bank. And what people said before, you spend Wax way too easy. I never have a balance over like 100 Wax, never.
Yeah.
It's just I can't keep it. I had like a balance of 22K Wax one day, and like the next day it's gone. It's just I can't keep any Wax in my wallet. It's
impossible. Me neither. I have to stake it.
But I recently
Yeah,
but I also I just use it for all the projects that I want to.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many good options for projects coming out too, right? Like grabbing a bunch of the green rabbit stuff, and I finally got my hands on some Nova Rally stuff. We had a great conversation with Snakey, and there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's so weird to watch people on Ethereum like still buying art. Means anything.
Well, there are some really cool art projects. Like if you look at what Ultra Rare is doing on Wax,
I love those guys.
They build such an amazing community. There's like so many collectors. They have the whole rewards thing down. Like once they released their new set, there was so much hype. People just kept trading, trying to complete collections. It was
right.
It's I think it's the most active community on Wax for just art-based stuff. Probably.
Well, you get that gamification. That's one thing that MBlue is doing with Uplift Art really early on, right? Like creating those fractionalized collections, and burn upgrades to different rarities, and really messing around in that space. It just takes the art form, and allows people to really get in there. It's just gamified. It's super fun that way, right? And I think so. And I gotta get connected with somebody who's doing the Colonize Mars thing. So, is that all they're doing, or like, do they have a plan where it's actually going to be turned into a game, or do you know?
I really I didn't go into the Colonize Mars thing. I would hook up with Anders. He talked to them a lot on screen and off screen for a bit. So I think he's the dude to talk to, and he can probably connect everything.
Cool. Yeah, yep. I actually sold. Don't tell Colonize Mars. I actually sold a bunch of my upgraded stuff. So that I could buy more Uplift land.
Yeah, well, everybody has their things, right? Because like I liquidated a bunch of my Kate, which really hurt, to buy some stuff, and now I've just been regaining, just buying small pieces, rebuilding the pool, because I really like the project. Like I have their banner on my site forever. They don't pay for that. I just have it there. I really like it.
That's awesome.
So this. Yeah, it's just a really nice project and a really, really nice community as well. There are a bunch of like on their Telegram, few regulars there that are really nice, and But I feel that way about Wax in general. It's just a really nice community.
Me too. Yeah, I was thinking just where this will be in 6 months to a year. I've been thinking about that a lot. Because I keep we're so head down for the next 90 days stuff. Like we got to get uplifting withdrawals working and social logins and like just that basic shit, right? Like getting active rewards turned on and all that shit.
Yeah. But 6 months is not. It's forever. It is. It's really forever. Atomic Hub recently celebrated their 1 year anniversary. Can you believe? Right? It's like I can't even.
What?
Yeah. It feels like something that's been there forever.
It totally feels like a piece of the firmament. Yeah. So we just got into our fifth floor. So we're in our 5th month. What? I feel like this has been my whole life.
Yeah.
We've been open for 4 months. That's ridiculous.
But there's also like so many stimulants. There's so much stuff happening. It's just it's weird because I've had for a long period that time is flying by, but at the same time, it feels like a year, like a few months in Wax feels like years.
Yeah,
so it's a really weird thing for me as well.
And this is like, this was always always. I've been through 2 sort of crypto bull markets, and it's that year, that 18 months. That's what it feels like. It's just like wall to wall. There's always something happening. Everything's crazy. NFTs feels like that times 7. Like it really does. And there's so much innovation going on in the space, right? When we talk about designing anything now, for new stuff, like where everybody, that's doing anything, so many people are coming up with so many good ideas that just become, potential industry standards. Like there's so many more tools in the toolbox to do box drops, or, like obviously Nefty's open that wide open. And to just create value for people, and to create fun, and to create shit that everybody wants to whale into. And that's the game, right? Like that's what we're all doing. And then of course figuring out how to make, long-term value, so that 5 years from now, people are like looking at plots that got started this year and they're still there. I had a great conversation actually with, I can't remember who it was with now. I talked to too many people. But where it was basically, you'd be building something with your kid, and then 5 years from now, you can actually go and check that out. You can see it. It'll still be there, right? Even if you like don't turn it into a business and don't make it this big, huge money making thing or whatever, like you've basically created, something that will persist, in a place where you're gonna have neighbors. You're gonna have we're basically encoding our history in this weird new way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. All the things that become possible. Because
yeah,
you said you've been around for a while with the whole crypto bull run, etc. I'm just really, really new to this still, because I was there when Bitcoin started. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, okay, you
right.
roll over all the data, you sign it, you make sure that it's verifiable, and you can't alter it unless you rewrite the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is cool, but well, okay, you can make a cool accounting app, or like make sure that bars and restaurants don't mess with their registers. But back then I was like, okay, what else will we do with this? Because I didn't see it. It didn't light up for me, right? I was like, okay,
Right.
this is fun, cool technology, but what else can you do with it? And the whole NFT utility thing is what really opened my eyes to a lot of possibility. Because before the stuff with Alien Worlds, etc., I was like, okay, all this crypto stuff is cool, and it's a way to throw around money and gamble a lot, but there isn't any utility for me as a person. It's like it does nothing for me up until that point, right? Because there was basically, for a normal person, there was nearly nothing you can do with crypto back then. There weren't much use cases for it.
Right. It was a good, like cross-border payments and permissionlessness, and like testing out this new, idea for a store of value. I think, there was a lot of that. But I agree. Like, it really, it was, when we say store of value, what we really mean is, like, if you believe in it enough, you'll buy it at a higher and higher price, right? So really, it's just a speculative engine, and not just like that. That has a real power, right? That I think, a lot of people, especially that are used to markets like Wall Street, will look at, a Dogecoin and say, oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, well, it's like a couple $1 billion worth of ridiculous, right? Like that, there is enough belief in that system to value that at this market cap, whatever it is, like, 700-800 million. It's a ridiculous number, right? And that's very real, right? And I think like discounting that is I mean, you do so at your own peril, right? If you just want to pray to the gods of Wall Street, then by all means keep doing that. But it's not the only power out there, right? So I think that the realizing what's actually underpinning that market cap, it has been really formative for me. And there's all sorts of other different kinds of utility, but you're right. Like the NFT revolution that we're going through now, you need it to get in there, right? And DeFi kind of goes back to the other thing, right? Well, like, you need to get Binance so that you can stake it against Cake and then make another thing. Well, that's just like another level of that speculative engine, right? It's a good one.
Like the whole NFT thing, it requires some mind alteration in a bit. Let me give you an example. I used to play like a mobile game called Top Drives, where you have cars and you race against other people, and you have tournaments. You can win new cars, and you can open packs and get cars, etc. There are some really rare cars in there that everybody wants, but there's no marketplace. You can't trade them. And for the longest time, it was like, okay, you play a game, you achieve stuff, but it's all fake, right? It's all on your PC. If you reboot, you wipe your PC, it's all gone. Now you have cloud saves, and it lives in your account. You can get it back, but you can still really not do much with it. But once everything becomes an NFT, you can actually, like, okay, I earned this. This is something I can use, and I can give it to somebody else, or I can sell it, or that's something that most people don't even think can happen, because like we're so used to having a game, and everything in there is just, it's that game. It's not something you can take out or use, and that's something that I think will still really make a big impact for a lot of people, and move people to blockchain stuff. Because like the Blanco of the, not Blancos, the Funko Pop launch today, that's really cool. I really like that, and it will bring in some new people into the space that weren't there before. But I think that gaming, it will be the biggest push for people into places like Wax.
And the
it's such a tangible, it's such a tangible example that anybody can understand really easy. Because if you have to explain all the other forms that are out there, it can get really technical, hard. People just sign off. Because I have like programmer friends, been programmers all their life. I've been telling them about all the stuff that I do on Wax, and I was like, this is a really good time to get started. And there's lots of opportunity, and even to start without no or very little investment money-wise. You can basically start for free if you want, and it just takes some time. Mm-hmm. And your time becomes more valuable the more you amplify it with cash, of course. But there's so much opportunity there. But there's like, I don't understand it, and if I don't understand it, I'm not going to get into it. So that's still like a big hurdle that we need to overcome. So I think as if the onboarding to Wax becomes really easy, that will be, and people can see an example of what is possible, that will be such a major shift in user base.
Yeah, well, and I think you're right about the gaming too, because like the gaming, once you have systems that are easy enough for people to understand, and it's like something that they've already been doing, then like, well, I'm gonna play games anyway, so I might as well do this. I had like a real aha moment when I gave my mother-in-law, my wife's mom, some Alien Worlds NFTs for Christmas, this last Christmas, right? And she gets on her phone, she like plays all the dumb phone, Farmville, all these things or whatever. It's just like that, only you make actual crypto. It's like, oh, cool, whatever. So, we get her hooked up on there. She still goes in my time. Like, it's like what, 5 months later, 6 months later, whatever it is, or more. What month is it? 8 months later, she's going. Use calendars, and she is not a crypto person, but she kind of is now, right? Because like she went and swapped some Trillium to buy a couple NFTs that she was then staking to our planet. She was actually doing the callback thing before they nerfed them. She was mining callbacks like it was her fucking job, right? So that she could stake them to our planet and then get more Aether, so that she could get more, like that cycle. My mother-in-law, who is not a gamer, definitely not a blockchain person, whaled in almost instantaneously. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be big, and it will. Yeah. That's the vector, right?
Yep. You've been breaking up for me audio-wise and video. Is that just for me or for other people as well?
Oh man, it might be all the way around. It says my connection's unstable.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
I got most of the story. There's no problem.
All right, cool.
But it's cool to see.
Right, mom-in-law onboarded because Alien Worlds on our planet.
But my wife ran with it too. It was like, she is a bit technical, but not that technical. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm not sure and if she will like this. But she immediately started like browsing Atomic Hub every day, just like the new listings or the lowest price listings, and just discovering new things. And for the longest time, she would send me like a new NFT every day. So like, hey, I sent you something today. So just every day. And I found
that's adorable.
I found Food Monsters and Roar and Lumpia Gang, and I found all sorts of very cool collections that I'm still talking to right now.
That's awesome.
Through her, just browsing Atomic Hub and sending me stuff. So that's really nice.
That's cool. I love Roar. He's awesome.
All
right. So, is there anything that you would like to direct people at? I actually have to get reset for another meeting here in about 5 minutes.
Well, I had a nice milestone that I still wanted to make a video about and drop an NFT because something came up. I actually got like the second level verification on Atomic Hub. I haven't told anybody yet. So I'm like orange now because every time, I started my own collection way back when to thank people for donating for the tools. Yeah. So I made like a script and I sent out a few hundred NFTs to everybody that donated. And I made a few drops for free stuff to celebrate. The only thing I ever had paid was like for dust to raise money, to raise dust to start my own mining in the Telegram. Mm-hmm. And I've just dropped everything for free. But you always get like the blue warning, this collection is verified or whitelisted but not verified. Yeah. It's like, I want to get rid of that. So I went through that whole ordeal to get that verified. So thanks, Fabian, and thanks to the guys at Atomic Hub. So we made something really cool to celebrate that as well on NFTs. So I wanted to make like a small update video to talk about some of the things that I've done since all the things before, because I think I haven't made a video in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So it's like, okay, let's celebrate and drop an NFT there. So if you subscribe to me already, there will be a video in the next few days, which will have like a claim link to have a nice celebratory NFT drop that will be free as well. So
awesome,
I think that was really nice. And I have lots of plans for stuff that I want to make. But yeah, I will roll out updates to some existing stuff. I made like you talked about the Clash Dome stuff that I made. I had something really nice that would pop in from the side. Like, hey, you don't have this token configured in your wallet yet. Do you want to add that? So I want to make stuff like that for Kate and a few other tools. And lots planned. But it will be a while before I'm up to speed again.
Yeah, man. So yeah, congratulations, Tech Geek and Soul. We're mentioning that as well on the whitelist. That's awesome. And man, I'm really excited that you did not lose any function in your hand. God damn it.
Same here. Yeah.
Because this ecosystem is really, really lucky to have you. And I know everybody else on here feels the same way. So, and thanks for joining me this morning too. It's always fun to get a chance to chat.
Yeah, I hope to have something more to tell next time, because as I said, I haven't done that much in the last few weeks. But yeah, it's always nice to hang out and talk.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Let's do this again sometime.
Hell yeah. I mean, we just want to have you back all the time. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I know Jimmy feels the same way. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It's kind of what we do. Hey, you want to do the chop?
Like do
the chop.